Have you ever caught yourself saying, I'll start when the time is right? Maybe you've been holding on to a dream, an idea, or a goal, waiting for everything to line up perfectly before you begin. You keep telling yourself you'll start when you have more money, more time, more confidence, or when the fear finally disappears. But here's the question you must face today. What if that perfect moment never comes? This is the trap of perfection. It's one of the most dangerous lies we tell ourselves. We disguise it as patience, wisdom, or preparation, but deep down, it's fear wearing a mask. We don't wait because we're readying ourselves for greatness. We wait because we're scared to take the first step. We wait because the thought of stumbling terrifies us. And so we build a cage out of our own excuses. A cage that feels safe, but slowly suffocates our potential. Think about it. How many dreams have you already delayed because you were waiting for a perfect start? How many opportunities have slipped away because the conditions weren't just right? Human psychology tells us something profound. When we delay action, our mind convinces us that the goal is further and further out of reach. The longer we wait, the heavier the burden becomes. Procrastination doesn't just steal time, it steals belief. And the more we wait, the more we begin to question whether we're even capable at all. Perfection is a mirage. It tricks us into chasing something that doesn't exist. The truth is, no one who has achieved greatness started with perfect timing, perfect resources, or perfect skill. Every single one of them began in imperfection. They began in uncertainty. They began in fear. But they began. And that's the difference between those who dream and those who achieve. Psychologists have studied this pattern again and again. The brain prefers safety over growth. That's why it whispers, wait, not yet. Because to the brain, failure feels dangerous, embarrassing, and threatening to our identity. But here's the paradox. The very thing we run from, failure, is the very thing that shapes us, strengthens us, and builds the resilience we need for success. So let me ask you this. You letting the fear of imperfection keep you standing still? Because if you are, you're not just delaying progress, you're delaying life itself. Every day you wait is another day of lost experience, another day of missed growth, another day of letting fear win. But here's the powerful truth I want you to take with you. Progress will always beat perfection. Tiny steps, even clumsy ones, will take you further than standing still with perfect plans in your head. Life rewards action, not intention. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need to feel fearless. You only need to start. And here's the reward I promise you. If you stay with me until the end of this video, by the time we finish, you'll see exactly why starting today correctly, and courageously, and boldly can change the entire course of your life. You'll understand how fear of failure can be turned into fuel, how small habits can outshine giant goals, and how you already hold the power to rewrite your future. So, before we go deeper, make yourself a silent promise right now. I will not wait for perfect. Say it in your heart. Because the moment you believe that perfection isn't necessary, the chains begin to fall. And when the chains fall, you unlock the freedom to finally live, to finally try, to finally build the life you've been waiting for. The truth is, fear of failure is not the enemy. The real enemy is inaction. Fear only has power when it keeps you frozen. Once you take a step forward, even a small one, fear begins to lose its grip. Psychology proves this action reduces anxiety. The more you do, the less your brain has space to dwell on the what-ifs. Every step forward rewires your mind to believe, I can handle this. Think about it like this. Confidence doesn't come before action. Confidence comes because of action. So many people wait to feel ready, but readiness is built through doing. It's in the moment of trying, failing, adjusting, and trying again that you begin to grow into the person who is ready. No one wakes up fearless. They become fearless by moving forward while fear is still present. Perfectionists often believe that waiting will protect them from mistakes. Mistakes are not proof of weakness, they're proof of movement. Every failure carries a lesson. Every stumble teaches resilience. Without them, there is no growth. In fact, research shows that people who fail early often succeed faster in the long run because failure forces them to learn what works. So ask yourself, are you protecting yourself from failure? Are you protecting yourself from growth? Because the two cannot be separated. Growth demands risk. Growth demands courage. Growth demands that you begin before you are ready. When you embrace this truth, life shifts. You stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I never try? That one shift in perspective can unlock energy you didn't know you had. Because deep down, you already know, the cost of waiting will always be higher than the cost of starting. Starting before you feel ready is not recklessness. It is courage in its purest form. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means deciding that fear will not be the driver of your life. The human brain is wired to protect us from risk, but that same protection can turn into a prison. When you choose to wait until everything feels safe, you unknowingly choose to stay trapped. Safety feels comfortable, but comfort kills growth. Research in psychology reveals something powerful. Humans adapt faster than they expect. What seems impossible at first becomes natural once you step into it. Think about your first job, your first challenge, or even your first heartbreak. At the start, it felt unbearable. But over time, you adapted, learned, and came out stronger. That's the same principle that applies when you start before you're ready. The challenge that looks overwhelming today will become manageable tomorrow because you dare to face it. Perfection convinces you that you must have all the answers in advance. But leadership success and personal growth are never about having every answer. They're about moving forward despite uncertainty. Leaders are not those who avoid mistakes. They are the ones who make mistakes, learn quickly, and keep moving. This is the hidden truth. The world does not reward those who wait. It rewards those who step. So take this to heart. Your breakthrough is not waiting for the perfect plan, the perfect timing, or the perfect version of you. It is waiting for a single act of bravery, a single step that tells your fear, "You no longer control me." That step is the beginning of transformation. And once you take it, you'll discover you were always stronger than the fear that tried to hold you back. The truth is, waiting for perfection is nothing more than a disguise for fear. It feels safe to keep preparing, to keep polishing, to keep telling yourself, "Not yet." But underneath that safety is hesitation. Hesitation slowly eats away at your potential. Think about it. How many dreams are buried in the graveyard of someday? How many lives never change because the person kept waiting for the right moment that never came? The right moment is not something you wait for, it is something you create. When you take action, even small, imperfect action, you shift your entire state of mind. Psychology proves this action builds momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Confidence is not something you magically have, it is something you generate by doing. Every step forward, no matter how shaky, is proof to your brain that you are capable. And the more proof you give your brain, the less power fear has over you. Understand this: failure is not the enemy, it is feedback. Every mistake teaches. Every setback reveals a hidden strength. The most successful people are not those who avoided falling. They are those who turned each fall into a stepping stone. They were willing to look imperfect, to stumble, to try again, because they knew growth lives on the other side of failure. So instead of asking yourself, "What if I fail?" begin asking, "What if I never try?" Which pain would you rather live with? The pain of imperfection or the pain of regret? One fades as you grow, the other follows you forever. The choice is always yours. Don't let the fear of failing steal the life you were meant to live. Act now, even if it's messy, because messy progress is still progress. And progress beats perfection every single time. Perfection whispers a dangerous lie, that unless everything is flawless, it isn't worth starting. But look closely at life, nothing ever begins perfect. The tallest tree began as a fragile seed. The strongest athlete once stumbled on their first step. Even the greatest inventions started as clumsy experiments that failed again and again. Perfection is not the beginning, it is the result of persistence. And persistence only comes when you dare to begin. When you start today, no matter how small the action, you are building something far greater than perfection. You are building consistency. Psychology tells us that the brain is shaped by repetition. Habits carve pathways in the mind. Every repeated choice becomes easier to make the next time. That means even a single small step today has power. It doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are becoming. The real enemy of success is not failure, but delay. Every day you wait for the perfect conditions, you strengthen the habit of hesitation. And hesitation grows heavier the longer you carry it. But when you push through fear, when you act despite the uncertainty, you prove to yourself that you are stronger than doubt. That proof transforms you from the inside out. So don't underestimate what one decision today can do. One phone call, one page written, one workout, one step forward. It might look small, but it could be the spark that ignites everything. Progress is not measured in how perfect it looks, but in the fact that you moved. Remember this truth: perfection delays, but action delivers. Start imperfect. Start afraid. Start with what you have. Because the only way to reach excellence is to first embrace imperfection. Fear often disguises itself as logic. It tells you to wait until you're more skilled, more confident, more prepared. But what it truly wants is to keep you still. Fear thrives in hesitation because the longer you stand still, the louder it grows. Yet the moment you take action, the smallest one, fear begins to lose its power. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is choosing to move despite its presence. Think about the moments in life when you surprised yourself. Maybe it was speaking up when your voice trembled. Maybe it was saying yes to an opportunity that scared you. At first, you doubted if you could handle it, but when you stepped forward, you realized strength you didn't know existed. This is how growth always happens on the other side of discomfort. Psychology proves it. When you face what scares you, your brain rewires, creating resilience. You become stronger simply because you dared. The truth is, waiting for confidence before you act is a trap. Confidence is built by action, not before it. Every step you take gives you evidence that you are capable. And with every piece of evidence, self-belief grows. That is why starting, even clumsily, is more powerful than waiting for the perfect plan. Action creates clarity, while overthinking only creates more doubt. So let this be your reminder. Fear will always knock, but it doesn't deserve to hold the key to your future. You hold that key, and every time you act, every time you move forward without all the answers, you are unlocking doors that hesitation would have kept closed. Do not wait until you feel ready. Start, and readiness will find you. Every person who has ever achieved something meaningful started before they felt ready. Think about the innovators, the leaders, the creators. None of them had a flawless plan. They stepped into the unknown, made mistakes, learned, adjusted, and kept moving. That's the hidden true progress. Is not born from perfection, it's born from persistence. Each mistake you make is not failure, it is feedback, a compass pointing you closer to your breakthrough. When you hesitate, you give fear time to paint 1,000 worst-case scenarios. But when you act, you discover that most of those fears were illusions. Studies in human psychology show that our brains often exaggerate risk while underestimating our ability to handle challenges. This means the thing you fear most is rarely as impossible as your mind tells you. The only way to prove this truth to yourself is to step forward and experience it. Action builds momentum, and momentum is powerful. One small step leads to another, and soon you're no longer thinking about how scared you are. You're focused on the path ahead. This is how people rise, and not by removing fear, but by outpacing it. Every forward move weakens doubt and strengthens belief. The very act of doing creates a force that fear cannot keep up with. So the question is not whether fear will show up. It will. The real question is, will you let it freeze you, or will you move anyway? Because life rewards action, not hesitation. The doors of opportunity open not for those who wait, but for those who walk forward even with shaking hands. When you do, you'll see that courage was never about being fearless. It was about daring to take the step regardless. The truth is, waiting for the perfect time has silently stolen more dreams than failure ever has. How many people live with untapped potential, not because they lack talent, but because they kept saying, not yet, maybe tomorrow. Life doesn't reward tomorrow. Life rewards today. The breakthrough you are searching for won't arrive when everything feels safe. It will come the moment you decide to move forward despite the uncertainty. Every great story of transformation begins with one choice, the choice to act now. And that choice doesn't demand perfection. It demands courage. Courage to risk being uncomfortable. Courage to face the unknown. Courage to believe that you are capable of more than the excuses that hold you back. That courage lives inside you right now. It's waiting for your permission to take over. Think of it this way: if you plant a seed today, it won't become a tree overnight. But without planting, there will never be a tree at all. The same is true for your dreams. Small steps taken consistently grow into the big victories that change your life. The power isn't in waiting, it's in beginning. So ask yourself, are you willing to leave this moment unchanged, or will you claim it as the turning point? Fear will always whisper reasons to delay, but your heart already knows the truth. Progress starts today. This is your time, your chance, your opportunity to step out of hesitation and into action. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Create it, because the person you are becoming is built not on what you plan, but on what you dare to do. And once you begin, you'll realize the future you've been waiting for has been waiting for you all along. Before you leave, let me ask you something. How many moments have you already lost because you were waiting for the perfect time? And how much longer will you allow fear or doubt to delay the life you truly want. If this video spoke to you, then don't just walk away inspired. Decide right now to take that first step. And while you do, stay connected with us here at Motivation Vault, because every video is designed to push you closer to your breakthrough. So tell me in the comments, what small step are you ready to take today? Your answer might inspire someone else who's fighting the same battle. And if you're ready for more, hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and keep walking this journey with us. Remember, your future won't wait. Why should you?